What's up, movie fans? Welcome to Men vs. Movies. I'm Griffin, as always, and I am joined today by a very special guest. You may know him if you pay attention to some of these smaller YouTube channels out there. His name is Tyler Tompkins. So, hey, Tyler, how's it going, bud?
It's going good, man. Thanks for inviting me over to do this list with you. I had a lot of fun coming up with what was my favorite or what I at least thought was, or were the best top 10 scores of 2016, but it was a very hard list to compile, so I'm very curious to see where your list stands compared to mine.
Yeah, for sure. So, in case you guys didn't know, we're talking about the top 10 movie scores of 2016. Now, you're probably wondering, well, who really gives a shit about movie scores? We do. We're big movie score fans, you know. I happen to think that movie scores tend to enhance a film quite a bit. And as you'll see by some of the stuff on this list, even the bad movies have good scores, and I'm sure you can attest to this. I've got some maybe not so popular films that have good scores on this list, so it's really quite interesting. And actually, we were just talking about this. I think this list was even more difficult to put together than my actual top 10 films of the year list, which. Do you agree? Can you concur?
100% agree. This was way harder. The top 10 movies was, I haven't actually compiled mine because I'm waiting for a few, but I still have an idea of how that's going to go. But for the top 10 scores, I had to do some research, like some deep research. And it was a lot of, Xing out. I had a lot of honorable mentions, and it was just tough picking which ones fit into the top 10. I wish we could have done a top 20, but that still even would have been competitive, man.
Honestly. I finished my list, and I think I had at least like 22 or 25 on there. It was insane. So just so you guys know, it's the top 10 scores. It's going to be our personal favorites. We are going to bend the rules just ever so slightly. There are a few scores from television, big production television, miniseries, that sort of stuff, that we're going to throw in there just because they were that good that really, if we were talking about all the scores for entertainment in general, these would 100% be on there. So we're just going to throw them in there because they're that good. All right, so without further ado, let's get this bad boy underway. Top 10 movie scores / kind of TV of 2016. All right, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to go 10 through 6. You're going to do your 10 through 6. I'm going to do my 10 through 6. You're going to do your 5 through 2. I'm going to do my 5 through 2, and then we're both going to give our number 1, which I'm kind of guessing is going to be the same thing. I'm almost convinced, man. I am almost convinced. Oh, yeah. All right. So I'll let you start this off. If you have any honorable mentions, feel free to throw them out there, but the floor is yours, sir.
All right, honorable mentions. I tried to narrow this down as little as possible. So I only have 2 honorable mentions, and I'm just gonna say them really quickly. Jackie and the movie Lion. Now, I haven't seen Lion, but I'd heard great things about the movie score. I did some research, listened to the score, and it was really good. And I'm actually seeing the movie in the morning, and I can't wait to see it used with the movie. And Jackie was a movie that I thought was okay, but the score actually kind of enhanced it because it matched the haunting and eerie tone that the movie had. So those are my only honorable mentions. As for my number 10, I'm going to start it out with Game of Thrones. I love the intro, and typically I don't really pay attention to the score. For the first 5 seasons, at least, I didn't. But season 6 had that one song in the season finale called, I believe, Light of the Seven, which was totally different. That's one of the most memorable things from the entire season, if not the most memorable. And that's what pretty much put that score on this list. I thought it was very well done. Moving on to number 9 is Stranger Things, which
we're gonna come back to that in a little bit.
We'll talk about it later, but that has to be on this list just because of everything that show did.
It's a must. It's a must.
Absolutely. My number 8 is actually Passengers, composed by Thomas Newman.
Okay, yes, that's interesting.
Yeah, Passengers, I didn't really care for it. I thought it was a good movie. It's okay. Definitely, I had way higher expectations for that movie, but the score enhanced it for myself. But I'm a huge fan of Thomas Newman. He's my favorite composer. I love everything he's done. And I really thought that score was special. I enjoyed it, and I actually downloaded quite a few songs from it. I thought it was really well done. And my number 7 is Swiss Army Man, a movie a lot of people probably didn't see. That was easily...
Yeah,
did you see it?
No, I still have not seen that yet. I really want to see it. It's been on my queue for movies I need to see for the longest time. Still haven't seen it, but yeah, I guess the music is good from it.
I know for a fact if you had seen this movie, this score would have made your top 10 list, because I believe I could be wrong, but the two guys that helped compose the score were, I think they're a part of the Manchester Orchestra or something like that. I forgot what it was called. But
oh wow,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's very it's very good. But yeah, Swiss Army Man definitely deserved a spot on the top 10. And my number 6 is Arrival by Johan Johansson, I believe, is the composer. Very eerie score, and that was probably my favorite thing about that entire movie. That's kind of what made the movie for me. I loved it.
Yeah. No, yeah, you got a lot of great choices on there, and actually a few on your lower half of your list are actually some of my honorable mentions, I have to admit. But yeah, you bring up a good point with Arrival. Arrival just shows that like scores can be so subtle, atmospheric, haunting, really, because that's the perfect word that I would use to describe the score for Arrival. It's a shame that it's not going to be nominated for Best Original Score because of that stupid scandal or whatever. Like, it used like some songs that technically didn't belong to the composer. Well, but yeah, no, you got a great list there. I'm very keen to check out Swiss Army Man now that you mentioned the score.
You got to see it.
I know. All right, let's do this. All right, move on to my stuff. So I got quite a few honorable mentions. The first honorable mention that I'm going to have on here is for 11/22/63.
Oh.
Now, this miniseries blew me away. It was so good. The music on it was really on par with the miniseries. I thought that it complemented it quite well. There was quite a few memorable themes in there, and this is really just a pitch for me to say, if you haven't seen 11/22/63, go see it. It's one of the best things I've watched all year, so there's that. I also have another Thomas Newman film, Finding Dory.
Oh, yeah.
Score was really good for that movie. I didn't think it matched with the film that much. Like, I'm listening to the score and I'm seeing the movie and I'm like, this is kind of heavy stuff in the score.
Yeah, it's too good for the movie.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. So have that as an honorable mention. Also have Passengers, as you put it. Passengers, great score. I also have The Neon Demon, a movie that I love, but a lot of people just can't get past the weirdness factor of it. And then my final honorable mention, in this one, honestly, it killed me to leave off because I love it. I listen to it a lot. That's the score for Civil War. Henry Jackman is one of my favorite composers working today. And I think the reason why I left this one off is simply because they didn't reuse the themes that they had from Winter Soldier, which kind of bugged me. So, let's do this. 10 through 6. So coming in at number 10 is a score that I really, really like, and there's tracks in it that I like more than the entire thing, but I'm talking BVS, Batman versus Superman, Hans Zimmer, Junkie XL. Beautiful Lie, the first track on that album, might be one of my favorite single tracks, in some time. The way that music completely enhanced the murder of the Waynes in the film was unbelievable. I got major chills in the theater when that whole scene came about and when the music was coming. Oh, unbelievable. And then I loved Hans Zimmer's Batman theme because it was very reminiscent of the Batman the Animated Series theme, which was just so cool to see. Drums were great. It kind of reminded me of Man of Steel, but they kind of shaped it to fit the movie a little bit. It was a little bit darker. I will say, though, even though this movie is on my list, hated the Lex Luthor theme. Hated it. Yeah. Just like I hated Lex Luthor in that movie. So, anyways, that's why Batman v Superman, the score for it, is coming in at number 10. All right, so number 9, actually, same thing that you put, Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It's such a good score, and I think that for a lot of people, it's almost as memorable as the show itself. It encapsulates the 80s perfectly. It's got the nice synth stuff going on. The theme song, Holy crap, man. The theme song has been remixed so many times. There's been like Childish Gambino rapping over it. The theme song is just become almost iconic as the show itself. I loved everything about that score. That's why that's coming in at number 9. So number 8 is a movie that you also had on your 10 through 6, and that is Arrival. Basically for the same reasons you had it on there. Johan Johansson, he did The Theory of Everything. He's done a few other films. He did Sicario, also with Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
This dude really, really knows how to do subtle, haunting sounds, because that's really what this score is. I mean, it's music, but it's also just really, it's more like sounds. The way that it helped build up intensity for certain scenes, like especially when they're going into the ship. The music for that, oh my God, I think the music is really what it gave me massive chills for that entire scene. Johan Johansson is robbed of an Academy Award nomination for this film. It was absolutely unbelievable. So that's why Arrival is at number 8. So coming in at number 7 is a film that is very near and dear to my heart. It caught me in a good mood when I saw it. There's a whole story behind that, but regardless, it's Eddie the Eagle. Oh my God, this score. It's one that I just keep revisiting because of how 80s it is. I have, Stranger Things is 80s. I'll give you that. Stranger Things is seriously 80s. But nothing is as 80s as the Eddie the Eagle score. It's unbelievable. It gives me chills. I cry in that movie because of the score. Like it helps make the emotional moments more emotional. I think the guy who did it is Matthew Margeson or something like that. Never heard of him, but I want to hear more of him because he's so good. He blows me away. In this score, it makes me so happy. Yeah, Eddie the Eagle at 6. Or at 7, sorry. And to close out my 10 through 6, coming in at number 6, I have Rogue One, which for a lot of people, I don't think would make this list, because I know people were missing John Williams with that, and I can agree with that. I was missing him a little bit too, but I thought that what Michael Giacchino was able to do was he was able to give us something new that felt familiar. I will criticize it and say they didn't use enough original themes like the Imperial March, the Force theme, all that stuff. There were a few moments where I really would have liked to have heard more of those themes used, but the themes that Michael Giacchino composed in 4 weeks, might I add, were really, really good. It felt like Star Wars, even though they didn't use as many original themes as I would have liked. So that's why Rogue One is at number 6. So, any thoughts on my 10 through 6?
Well, I want to stop the video and go back and redo my list because you mentioned like so many things that I forgot about. Eddie the Eagle is a fantastic score, and I didn't even think about that. It's a fantastic score. And 11/22/63, I'm glad you mentioned that because that too is not only a fantastic miniseries, it's a great score too.
Yeah. Really, I want more people to watch 11/22/63 because I really don't know how many people have seen it. It came out on Hulu.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and we might as well tell them this is the whole reason we're making this video, is to promote 11/22/63. That's it. This is why we're making it.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to our 5 through 2. We're getting into the difficult stuff here, so take it away, Mr. Tyler.
My number 5 is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is, it's another movie. I thought I was a little underwhelmed. Harry Potter's my favorite series of all time, so I had high expectations for this movie. And leaving this movie, the score was my favorite part. James Newton Howard is another, and he was another one. He's another one of my favorite composers. And what he did with this, I really felt some Danny Elfman vibes, and it really reminded me of my personal favorite score of all time, Edward Scissorhands, because of some of the choir he used.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Do you have any thoughts on the Fantastic Beast?
On Fantastic Beast, I do, but I think we should wait because I have that a little bit later on my list.
For my number 4 is a movie I just recently watched called Moonlight. It's a small little indie movie that's kind of hard to find. By far, my favorite part was the score. It's one I haven't been able to stop listening to, and it's what made the movie. I didn't think it was as emotional as people were making it out to be, but I thought the score had a lot of emotion in it, and it's one that I listen to over and over again, and I get chills for certain songs from the scores. I just think it's fantastic. Yeah, so my number 3 is a movie I saw at the beginning of the year called 10 Cloverfield Lane by Bear McCreary.
I knew this one was going to make your list. I really did, because of how much you love this movie. And I got to be honest, I should have said that under honorable mention, because the score is really, really quite good.
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm surprised you didn't. It's not on your list.
There's a few scores I liked a little bit more.
Understandable, but yeah, this one it's very. I'm gonna kind of say the same things about number 3 and number 2, but number 3 it just kind of reminded me of almost like a Hitchcock movie. I thought it was very mysterious.
Yes.
Bear McCreary, again, best score he's ever done. I hope to see him do more movie scores after this, because that's one of my favorite scores of the year. Now on to my number 2 is another movie that I just saw recently called Nocturnal Animals.
I knew it.
Dude.
I knew it. I absolutely knew it, yeah.
Dude, have you heard this score?
I have. I've not seen the movie. Don't crucify me, please. But I have listened to the score, and it's fantastic. It's the same guy who did A Single Man, right?
Yes, I believe so. I haven't seen all of A Single Man, but this score is much better. And when you see the movie, I agree. I mean, I think this feels like a Hitchcock movie, and this is one of those moments where the score like moves the movie. Without this score, I wouldn't have liked the movie as much as I did. It's one of the best movies I've seen all year because of the score, and I cannot wait for you to see this movie because I think it's going to blow your mind.
I know it's going to blow my mind. I do. I just haven't gotten around to seeing it yet. Just like I haven't seen Moonlight yet, but I have listened to the score.
It's great, man.
It's killing me. I think that's a solid 5 through 2. I'm honestly surprised Nocturnal Animals isn't your number 1, but
it had it until a few days ago.
Yeah. There's a little movie that's going to take the cake on that one. All right, so for me, number 5. Go ahead, internet. Go ahead and just kill me right now, because this score is on my list, and this movie is making any sort of kind of list. Remember at the beginning how I said some bad movies have really great scores? Well, this is the perfect example. Even though I don't think that this movie is bad, you can watch my review for it. I defend this film. Number 5 is Assassin's Creed. I love the hell out of this score. Say what you will about the movie. Go ahead. I'll fight you because I enjoy the movie, but you're probably right, to be honest. The score for this movie, however, you cannot overlook, because this score is another example of subtlety that builds tension and climaxes. If you listen to the score the whole way through, it feels like it's just building towards a climax, and especially when Callum goes into the Animus and they go through the scenes in 15th century Spain during the Inquisition. The music has me on the edge of my seat. I truly think that the music is one of the reasons why I enjoyed this film as much as I did. It enhanced the entire picture, especially towards the events that happened towards the end. I'm not going to spoil anything. Incredible. I have not been able to stop listening to this score since I got out of that film. Honest to God. Have you listened to the Assassin's Creed score?
Your enthusiasm makes me want to listen to it right now. I want to listen to it right now, man. I love it. It's on my list now. It's my number 1 because of your enthusiasm for it.
There we go. Yeah, of course. No, I recommend at least listening to the score if you don't appreciate the movie, because, I get it. The movie, whatever. So moving on to number 4 is another television thing that I decided to put on my list. The themes used throughout this show are haunting. Another word that I've used several times, but they're haunting. They're so memorable. And then this show, I'm going to wait for a little bit to actually say the name of the show. This show does something really, really cool. And it takes popular songs and it remixes them for the time period it takes place in order to represent what's going on at the time in the show. And if you haven't guessed by now, I'm talking about Westworld. Westworld is probably my favorite show of the year, easily. That show blew me away. It's a very intelligent show. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But the score was equally as good. Ramin Djawadi, don't know how to say his name.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
yeah.
But he is one of my favorite composers working today. He did Warcraft, which I think it's a good score. I like the theme for it. Some of the other tracks I don't care for too much, but he's consistent. He's a student of Hans Zimmer, and it shows. And I think Westworld is actually some of his finest work, especially the one track in particular that I love so much, other than the theme, called This World or something like that. Really, really subtle piano theme that is beautiful, and that's why that is at my number 4. So coming in at number 3 is it's kind of weird because I don't think I think if you watch this movie, you don't pick up on the score because of everything else that's kind of overshadowing it. And I will go on record saying that the score for this movie is hands down the best part about this movie, and it's underappreciated because you can't hear it. I'm talking about the score for Suicide Squad by Stephen Price.
Oh.
That score is amazing, and it deserves to be in a better movie. It really does. The themes for Deadshot are perfect. It's kind of similar to his work in Fury, if you have seen that. I don't know if you remember the stuff from Fury.
Yeah,
you like that.
dude.
You're gonna love some of the stuff in this. And I think the times in the movie when you can hear the actual score actually really, really enhance it, especially the scene at the end where Deadshot, it's the stupid slow motion. Deadshot's like pulling the trigger on the gun to kill whatever the hell her name is. And the music it sucks you in. It makes you emotional. It's so, so well done in there. Thank you, Stephen Price, for giving us something redeemable about that movie. So yeah, that's why Suicide Squad is number 3. Definitely check out that score. Okay, so coming in at number 3 is a score that was on my top 10 favorite scores of the year for like ever since I listened to it. And I really didn't think anything was going to dethrone it until I listened to my number 1, but we'll get to that later. Number 2, if there's one word I could use to describe it, it's simply magical. Of course, I'm talking about Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by James Newton Howard. I honestly believe that this is some of his best work since Peter Pan and Atlantis. And there's a third movie that I am also drawing a blank on, but it reminds me of that too. Basically, classic James Newton Howard is what this reminds me of, and it's brilliant. The new themes in this film feel like Harry Potter, much in the same way that the new themes in Rogue One feel like Star Wars. However, they're actually memorable in Fantastic Beasts, and they make the world feel so magical again, much like the earlier Harry Potter films. Because that's one complaint I have with the later Potter films is I think the music actually took a decrease in quality because obviously John Williams wasn't there. So they were able to carry some of the themes over and make it work, but I feel like if they had gotten James Newton Howard to do the latter Harry Potter films, we would have gotten something really, really good because the themes in this film are incredible. I can't wait to hear what he does in the sequel because I know he's just going to take the stuff that was great in this movie and improve upon it. I can't praise that score enough. It's really, really magical. So
no pun intended.
No pun intended. That's my 5 through 2. Do you have any comments on the that part of my list there?
That's a really solid 5 through 2. A Suicide Squad I have to revisit because I don't really remember it. I want to go back and listen to it now. Like you said, not a lot of people, I guess, paid attention to it.
No, because it's overshadowed by the stupidity, the stupid music that made it feel like a music video.
Yep.
So it's really a shame because the score was damn good. It was really, really good. It's emotional. Gives me chills. All right. So I think number 1 is kind of easy. It's unanimous. Do you want to just La La Land?
Yeah. La La Land. It has to be La La Land.
It has to be. Now, it's interesting because it's a musical, so it's not going to have your traditional score.
Yeah.
There is a traditional score for the film, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But we figured since it is a musical, we can kind of include those singing numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So like Another Day of Sun, City of Stars, you name it, all those sorts of songs we figured can still count for the music scores. So I'll let you talk about La La Land first, because I know we both love this film and love the music.
Yeah, the thing with La La Land, I'm going to try my hardest not to talk about the movie, even though I want to. But it's so hard. But
it is. It's so hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's a musical, and I already had these monumental expectations going into this movie. So I mean, I was thinking in the theater, there's no way this movie is going to be as good as I think it is going to be, and there's no way this music's going to be engaging. There's just no way it's going to happen. This movie cannot be as good as people are saying it is. It is. It's better than what people are saying it is. The music is fantastic. Yeah. I haven't been able to stop listening to it. As soon as we left the movie theater, my mom, sister, and I put the soundtrack on. We listened to it, the whole thing, through 2 times because we drove like 2 hours away to go see this movie. And I'm
worth it, I might add. 2 hours away is not a waste of money or gas or time. It's
no.
Worth it.
I'm going to try to see this one more time before I go back to Louisiana, back to school, just because I want to see it again.
Same here.
And the music, it's even better in the movie too. I mean, it's fun listening to it, but seeing it on screen is just, it's
something else.
Yeah, dude, it's magic. I mean, it's indescribable. The musical was reinvented. The songs are great, and I'm almost 100% positive that a song from this movie is going to take home the Academy Award for Best Original Song. It has to.
Absolutely. City of Stars, easily. I think it's going to take that one.
Has
to. Or what's the one? The audition song.
Audition.
Yeah. That one. I completely agree with you on that, and I think it's going to take home Best Original Score too, because the music.
Oh yeah, it has to. It has to. And I thought his work too on side note on Whiplash was really good too. I really enjoyed it. It was very good.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. The thing, and I don't think he was nominated for that film purely because it was kind of like reimaginings of older songs, right?
Yeah, most of it was,
Right. Well, there you have it, guys. The best score of the year, best movie score of the year, La La Land. Who would have guessed the best score of the year comes from a musical? It just so happens. This has been a lot of fun. Hopefully you've all enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to not only my channel but Tyler's channel as well, because we're probably going to try and do a few more of these talking about movie scores, especially on our channel. We're starting some new segments that are going to deal with movie scores. Me and Brody are going to dive into them, talk about how they work with scenes, the emotions behind the music, maybe do a few composer spotlights, that sort of thing. It's stuff that we love. We'll probably have Tyler on as a guest just because he's just as enthusiastic about them as we are.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great. So before I close out, I'll let you plug yourself, sir. Go ahead. Just talk up your channel.
Yeah.
Your fantastic channel over
there.
Well, Tompkins.
Before I talk about that, I really appreciate you inviting me to do this. I mean, this is absolutely the first of many collaborations. This is why I love YouTube so much, and one of the reasons why I started, man. Yeah. I met so many friends that, first of many collaborations. But yeah, you could I search Tyler Tompkins in YouTube. I'm probably the first name that pops up, or if I don't, just Tyler Tompkins movie reviews. And I try to see as many movies as possible. And so you can just find me there. And social media too.
yeah, social media. You can do all that. And he likes to show off his Blu-ray collection, which he just did today, actually.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
But as always, guys, if you like this video, be sure to like it, share it with your friends, all your movie-loving friends, all your movie score-loving friends, because you're out there. We just got to find you.
Yeah.
And, if you feel so inclined, I guess you could hit that subscribe button. That'd be pretty chill,
Yeah, subscribe. And also, don't forget to watch 11/22/63.
Yes, that's the big plug here. 11/22/63. Watch that stuff. And then you can also like Men vs. Movies on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter simply by searching, guess what? Men v. Movies. It's that simple. And if you like me specifically, you like what I have to say, you can always give me a follow on Twitter at Griff Schiller. All right, this is going to do it for this video, guys. And until next time, take care, and we'll catch you later. Bye.